Hi, I'm Stunning Stella Cheeks.
And I'm the Enigma Aaron Klein.
And this is
Not Your Demographic.
We used to be a feminist wrestling podcast.
Shockingly, we'd rather talk about literally anything else now.
Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, everybody. Salutations. Here we are. We're not missing this month.
We are not. We just, life
happens.
is life. We got to shuffle things around. Extract has more or less a pretty strict schedule. This one, whatever.
We did this once a week for 6 years.
That's crazy.
We can have a little wiggle room.
That's crazy.
I know. Isn't that fucking nuts? We barely missed a week too, because even when I was on vacation, I would still call in.
Wow, we
The only
talked
one I
about
missed
wrestling
was-
so much.
Oh my god, because there's so much fucking wrestling.
I know. I was thinking about that the other day because Money in the Bank was on this weekend. I didn't watch it. The only reason I knew it was on is because I was on Blue Sky for something, and then I was like, oh, saw somebody get chucked off of a ladder, and I was like, wow, it must be Money in the Bank. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, I don't hate wrestling. There are parts that I miss watching and stuff, but it is such a commitment.
Mhm.
There's a reason that it was my job.
Mhm.
Because it feels like a job.
Mhm.
Because if you watch both shows, that's something almost every night.
Yeah.
Because it's Monday and Tuesday is WWE, Wednesday is AEW. I guess Thursday's your bye week unless you want to watch TNA. Friday's AEW and WWE. And then doesn't AEW have a Saturday show now too?
Yep.
And then that's not even counting pay-per-views.
Yeah. I only watch Dynamite sometimes. It's on at the perfect time to be right in the middle of Jean's bedtime. And so it's really difficult to watch.
Yeah.
But we watch most of the pay-per-views, and we've just become those people who kind of know what's going. I only care about Hangman Adam Page. I'm not gonna lie. It's like the only and timeless Tony Storm. That's wild. I saw that Mariah went to NXT. She earned it. She fucking worked her ass off at AEW.
I mean, I worry about her just becoming another blonde girl at WWE. But then at the same time, AEW's women's division is a mess. So
Yep. Such a mess.
I don't know. I don't
At
have
least
really.
Willow is thriving. That's kind of all I
Hey.
care about. Hangman Adam Page and Willow Nightingale. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I hear of people being like, oh, AEW is really struggling. And I'm like, well, the people who love it really seem to love it. I don't know what their financials look like.
Yeah. Cut a show. You don't need that many. It's because they have a huge roster.
Yeah, they could stand to we, berate WWE for releasing people so frequently. And for the most part, when people get released, you're like, yeah, I get it.
Every once in a while, there's a shock.
Yeah, when they're like, oh, R-Truth is gone, and everybody's like, the fuck?
Yeah, for real. He was just in a storyline with John Cena, and then they fired him. It's so weird.
And then, and that's one when you're made the cast pissed too. Though I guess he was at Money in the Bank.
He immediately came back. He was there on the Tuesday, I believe. It was days after they fired him.
Well, when your whole staff revolts because you're like, okay, you can fire anybody but this guy.
Right, exactly. He's one, been here forever, and two, is a great coach to everyone.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want that?
And name a person that watches that doesn't like R-Truth. Everybody likes R-Truth.
Right. Even if you're not oh, I really like R-Truth. There's no one who's I fucking hate when he's on screen.
Yeah. And if
would
you
be
are,
surprised.
fuck you.
Fuck you.
Anyways, how are you?
I'm good. It's funny. I have actually been talking about wrestling a lot with people recently, and it's oh man, I do miss this. Though I've said this a million times, I mostly miss live wrestling. I just miss that experience so much.
You mean going to Logan Square Auditorium or things like that?
Yeah, I miss Logan Square Auditorium. I miss Shimmer.
Berwyn's Eagles Club.
Well, I've been back there twice now for
I miss Shimmer
current
every
stuff.
day.
Oh man, Shimmer. Even with the Shimmer flu, even though I knew it was going to happen every single time, I still went. It was still worth it. It was still always worth it. R.I.P. Shimmer.
Truly.
Ugh,
My
man.
dad, I saw him the other week and he gave me his Shimmer beanie because he was like, hey, remember this? And I was like, give it to me. And he was like, what? And I was, give it to me. It's mine. Yeah, my shimmer hoodie is like falling apart. And I'm like, no, I want to keep it forever. Because I wear it all the time still. Because I love shimmer.
I still have that hat. I love it. It's a perfect purple color.
Rip shimmer.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been missing that a lot. I would really like to go to a freelance show because I want this sounds terrible and I don't mean this about everyone, but like I just want some sloppy live wrestling. You know what I mean? Like I just want it to not feel like it's on TV. I want it to feel like I'm in the space with the people who are performing and they're performing for the people in the space. Like
Yeah.
I just really miss it. I miss that weird fucking venue that they used to run in.
That freelance ran in?
No, that AAW ran in. That weird.
Oh, Bourbon Street, 115 Bourbon Street.
Yes. Where you had your
That place
bachelorette
is
party.
wild.
Yes. It was.
That was a great place to have a bachelorette party.
Oh my God, absolutely. I thought it was very funny that there were a couple of people at the time who tweeted and were like, "Oh man, that bachelorette party." And a bunch of people were like, "This wasn't a AAW show. This was Stellamania, and you need to get on board with it." It was fucking weird.
And a bunch of people, you mean MJF and Shauna. What's that? That's her name? Shauna?
Oh yeah, no. It's not Shauna. It's
Shayna?
no.
Shazza.
Shazza.
Shazza was pissed that we were there, and I was like, okay, but if we were not in our bachelorette outfits, we would have acted the same way.
Absolutely.
We're very vocal people in the audience. We're cheering, we're booing, we're participating, and not in like a this is wrestling way.
Oh my God, no.
Not in that kind of bullshit.
Wrestling.
Yeah. Honestly, if you're one of those people, never listen to this podcast ever again.
You know, Side Piece Mike was one of the people who like first started doing that at shows in Indiana.
Wrestling.
He told me that, and I was like, "That's a lie. I don't believe you." And then I watched without him later, watched some old matches, and was like, "What is this? I hear this," and was like, "Oh my God, oh no!"
So annoying. I hate that. I mean, This Is Wrestling's not that bad. It's the wrestling.
Because it's always when something
you're
goes
just trying
wrong.
And you're trying to pop yourself and like put yourself over. Like we never were trying to put ourselves over. We were literally invested in the thing. And yeah, I was in a balcony seats because the owners of AEW or AAW were like, she comes to a lot of stuff. She has a pretty popular podcast.
Yeah.
We'll give her a nice thing. And then I had a veil on. We weren't even wasted. We didn't get drunk until after the
Then you got
match.
wasted.
Yeah, of course. But we were really respectful.
I know, we were really respectful.
And a bunch of the wrestlers did have a good time. Like
yes,
Jimmy
Jacobs had the best night of his entire
Jimmy
life.
Jacobs, not Jimmy Havoc. Different Jimmys.
Yeah.
My brain, see, all of the wrestling is just slipping out of my brain.
Oh man, yeah. Watching him it was so weird
It was
to watch.
Jimmy Jacobs and like Matt Fitchett that got like thrown off the balcony in front of us.
Two different matches too, because Matt like half jumped and like was thrown into the ring. Jimmy Jacobs from our view in the balcony, which had to have been the best one because everyone else got to watch him fall, but all we saw was him get picked up and dropped out of existence. Like,
yeah, Jessica Havoc was so nice.
oh
about
yeah,
it.
she came upstairs too. She was lovely.
It was literally just two people bitching about it. And MJF, I think, was bitching about it in the MJF way,
yeah, in a
whereas
character way.
Shazza, I think, was being...
And
Shazza had a terrible match that night, so...
it's because she was so concerned about how
Sucks to
Stellamania
suck.
was there. That's what she was like, Stellamania is the reason that this went poorly. It's like, no, if it was good, we would
every
have
one of
cheered
your
for you.
matches always goes poorly. Whatever. Sucks to suck, Shazza.
Oh, fuck. How are you, I guess?
Fine. I don't know. Mostly I'm just like really... I'm existing in this place. I'm having like a summer malaise where I'm like not really anxious. I'm not really depressed. I'm not really happy. I'm just like existing. I'm having a summer malaise. That's what I am.
That's all right.
So I'm fine, I guess.
All right, that's good. Fine, I guess, is better than just absolutely fucking terrible.
I guess that's true.
Always look up
I guess
for
it's
the silver lining or fucking whatever.
Better than terrible. How are you? Better than terrible.
Better than terrible.
Not a awful way to respond. What is it's like a Swedish or like a Dutch thing where if somebody says how are you, say up and not crying or something like that. I have to look it up. I read that somewhere and I was like, brilliant. Amazing. I'm gonna Google it right now. Is it up and not crying?
I recognize what you're saying.
It's Norway. Yeah, I think it's Norway. In Norway, a common response to "How's it going?" is "Up and not crying," which I think is great.
I love that. How are you doing? Up and not crying.
Up and not crying.
All right. You know what? Fine. Cool.
All right, what are we doing?
Rants? What's your rant?
Raves? What's my rant? Okay, so it's hard because like there's so much terrible stuff happening in the world. So it feels like, but I feel like we've addressed this before, and like I feel like rants should be mostly silly or mostly like minor personal inconveniences and not Trump deploying the Marines or whatever to
The
LA.
National Guard, for real, turning an army on its own people.
Stupid. So all of that is still happening.
Yep.
I guess I think I've bitched about this before, but it's so bad. I can't do Instagram anymore, man. It is like, I bitched about it the other day or other podcast because I was getting some really manipulative and fucked up targeted ads that were related to health stuff. And I was like, this is bad. And like, I have a lot of media literacy, and even my brain was like, it felt like it was on fire and it was really, really bad. So I was like blocking. I love to block ads. But they still come. You can block them. You can block. There's this one fucking natural air freshener that I've blocked 700 times, but because technically an ad through an influencer is not the same as the main one that you blocked, you can still see the same product over and over again, even though you've blocked the product, which is crazy. But my complaint was just I got stuck in a like doom scroll, I guess, for like an hour the other day. And as soon as I stopped, I just looked at my phone and like double blinked and deleted the app. And I was like, that was bad. And I'm never going to be one of those people that's like, social media is the root of all evil, et cetera, because I do think that there is a lot of value in social media. And I do think that there's a lot of community building in social media.
Yeah, I mean,
But
we wouldn't have this podcast if it wasn't for social media, and like we're aware of that.
yeah, but even just thinking the 10 years we started this podcast, how different social media is from when we started it to now. It is just a different thing now. It is so insidious, and it is
Yes.
so, the algorithms are crazy. Whatever AI shit is running stuff is like ruining everything.
Shitification, right? That was the new word into Webster this year.
It's making finding those internet communities and stuff virtually impossible. Like I follow, and I'm not like bragging because you can follow as many people, but I follow like over 4,000 people on Instagram because if I see cool art, I follow it. If I see a funny meme, I follow it because I don't give a fuck. I'm not trying to be like, I have more followers than I follow people or some shit like that. But I follow so many people. And how is my feed mostly ads or people I've never seen before?
Yeah, man.
I follow like 4,000 people.
It is weird what the algorithm just decides is what you want to see all of. Like my entire feed, which like I'm not complaining about this specifically because I do like this is a thing I like, but my entire feed is tattoo artists, and like I follow so many collage artists, and it used to be my entire feed was collage art, and like it is so boring. It's so boring.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I'm still on it because I like the scroll of that better than the scroll of like news doom scrolling. But I'm trying to replace it with like Discord.
I'm trying to like not be on the, because I felt, and again, I have, not to brag or anything, but like I feel like I have high media literacy, and
Oh, yeah.
and I feel like that doesn't matter right now, and
Yeah.
my brain, like I still follow not enough people on Blue Sky, and also it's not, targeted by an algorithm or corporations yet. Who knows? In the way the other platforms are. But like, so I can get a little bit on there, but I find I run out of content, and I'm like, cool. Or I'll go on Tumblr for a little bit, and then it's all just dumb fandom shit. And then I'll, scroll until it's like basically caught up, and I'm like, cool. That's it.
That's nice though. I
Yeah.
remember when Blue Sky was like that for me, where it was like, this is it. This is the end of your feed for today. That was also weird because that was also just how it was. Sometimes
Yeah.
it didn't matter how many people you followed. Sometimes you just got to the end of a feed and you were done. Like, that's so early Twitter too. That was part of what really
Yeah.
attracted me to Blue Sky, was that it feels very early Twitter, only moving in like a better direction.
Totally. And I haven't put in, frankly, a lot of time into Blue Sky. But yeah, so like I still have social media. I still have Tumblr. I still have Discord. I still have Blue Sky on my phone. So I can still, do it. But it feels like I have, whether or not this is a perceived truth or not, it feels like I have control on those apps
Mm-hmm.
where I feel like Instagram is out of control. Doesn't matter how much I'm blocking. Doesn't matter how many people I unfollow. It doesn't matter what words I mute.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like it doesn't work anymore.
Oh, no, not at all. I totally agree.
I muted some really specific health words and I still see that stuff. Like,
Dude, absolutely. And it's really frustrating to see too, because you have multiple, but like I have the two accounts, this and mine and Not Your Demo, and it sucks to see the same ads on both. It's like,
yeah.
bro, these are different accounts that mean different things, and like the same person may be using them, but like this content should not be so linked up like that. And it's obviously because of your browser history and all kinds of other
Yeah.
bullshit. Marketing.
I haven't deleted Instagram specifically. I do use it for work. Ow, ow, Olive, ow. Sorry, she just made a biscuit, but like with just her claws.
Oh.
It sucked. And I still have but like I signed in for the first time in like a week today on my browser, and I was like, I didn't miss anything.
Oh, man.
And like,
Browser's the way to go, dude.
I don't need to get my news from Instagram. I don't there's nothing. Yeah, like I might miss some pictures from friends, but like stories are ephemeral, but the grid is not. I could go look at your photos or whatever,
Mhm.
even though I feel like nobody ever posts like grid photos anymore.
Yeah, it's hard. I feel like I looked at my page the other day and was like, this is a mess. And not even like I don't curate my feed. It was just like, what is all of this?
Mine's mostly little kitty photos.
So much of mine are like linked to Plan 9 and to like other like like extracts. I just have so little content of myself on my feed because I don't ever feel the need to do it.
Well, because you're
It's-
doing it in your stories. You're
That's
getting
true.
that like dopamine hit or whatever
Mhm.
hit, And like, yeah, I guess I miss posting like pictures of comic books that I'm reading in my story. But also, you know what that would get me to do? Stop reading comic books, because I would find a panel I wanted to take a picture of, and then I would post it, and then I'd be on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And
Yeah.
so then I wasn't like actually reading anymore. I don't know. I would like to. I'm trying to rewire my brain. I'm not saying Instagram's like the root of all evil. I mean, I think Meta probably is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I took Facebook off my phone the other months ago. My life has drastically improved, mostly because I would open that just to clear notifications because I hate that little red dot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm just opening this app. I'm not even doing anything in this app. I'm just clearing notifications. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I took that off my phone, which has been great. Again, can't delete it because of work stuff, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because, like, again, I don't think social media is like the root of all evil, but it is going, the big corporation, social media, the algorithm, all of that stuff is making those platforms really hard to use, but also making you feel trapped, like you don't have other options. Like, oh, I use it for work. How many times have I said that in the past 10 minutes? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or like, I've been posting on this since 2011. Like, I don't
Mhm.
want to like lose. I mean, leaving Twitter was hard, but also I never go back and look at my tweets. But I
No, I
like
don't
you.
either.
You do go back and look at photos and stuff.
It's the only reason I haven't like nuked my Facebook account. It's the only place I have my college photos.
Yeah.
Because that was like when we were in college, that was like the switchover from like the disposable cameras into we take digital photos. That was when we started being able to look at photos of ourselves.
That's
as
how
we were
you like
taking
prove
them.
that you had a good time at a party.
Oh my god. Well, it was also just me like dipping into rooms and being like, surprise! Everyone's getting their photo taken. Because that was too before, like, I remember the line too of you have to go through and now you have to censor your Facebook because you're trying to get a job. Like, we were the wave of that like originally. And so
Yeah.
it's strange also to like wade through that now of I have so much of my past that's connected to this when it was significantly less evil. And so
Yeah.
that's also difficult.
Yeah. When it was like when social media was simple and new.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like thinking in like again 10 years, right? 2014 to or 2015 to 2025, the way that social media it was already so much more advanced than when social media started. But now that feels like a completely different platform.
Yeah. I was on Twitter for 13, 14 years, a super fucking long time. I was a really, really early adopter.
Yeah.
And like, it was easy to nuke it. It really was.
It was.
Once it was gone, I didn't miss it. I kept.
But it was nice too that there was a similar replacement like Blue Sky.
Yes, and I had already gotten my name on that several months before because a friend of mine messaged me and he was like, "Listen, I know that you don't want Blue Sky, but like you should squat your name." I was
Yeah.
like, all right, fine, I will.
Yeah. But there's like not totally an equivalent for that for Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And like, is it even? And like, again, there's some like good stuff on there. Like, I see good content. I think there are like some really clever creators.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously prefer a creator over an influencer or whatever.
Yeah, for real.
But like, I think it's a really powerful platform for like, think about all of the stuff in Gaza. Like, I think a lot of us wouldn't know a lot of the stuff happening without that. Or like, you know, there are a lot of really awesome like trans creators on there that get their voice lifted while everybody's trying to silence them. And I've seen a lot of really great like disability like TikToks, and I just say TikToks as the reels, videos, creators, and like that stuff is still so valuable, but it's just so hard to find the value in that app when it feels like there's 15% good stuff and then 85% insane shit.
Yeah, man.
Like, I don't have TikTok anymore. I just completely deleted that. So when people send me TikToks, I'm like, I can't see that. Sorry.
Yep.
You send me a Twitter link, I can't see that.
Oh,
I'm not going to look at it. You send me a screenshot like a normal person. Send me a link. Insane.
Send me a video? Ugh, no. Give me a TLDR and then maybe I'll watch the video.
Yeah. I just can't get stuck in that scroll anymore. It was just like, and I realized that I had been doing that a lot lately. Probably, I'm having this malaise. I don't have a lot of motivation to do something. So it's very easy to just scroll on your phone.
For real.
And it was not, even if the stuff I was looking at was not necessarily insidious. It was maybe all of those awesome creators that I follow or, something interesting. It was still like, I've done this for how long? You know what I mean? Like, how many book talk things am I going to watch before I go fucking read a book?
Yeah.
How many things am I going to save? Like, oh, that book looks really good. Just go fucking read a book.
I was just going to ask, have you found during your malaise that you're only reading comics, or are you still like able to read other stuff?
I kind of am like, I kind of always push myself to read even if I don't want to read. So I'm still reading. Not as, God, sorry, I got the hiccups. Not as much, but I am still reading. I finished a couple books this week. Trying to read some more graphic novels too, just to like, because I went through a phase where I was buying a ton of graphic novels and they were like holding my couch up. I was like, I should read these. But I pulled a bunch of books into a stack a couple days ago and I was like, these are all queer books that I already own. So I'll make like a little Pride reading thing. I don't think I'll read them all in June. But that was like a way to like shop my own bookshelf to be like, I already own all of these.
Shop your own bookshelf. That's exactly what everybody should do.
Yeah. Especially because like some of them I've had for years. I think I bought one because it's the book club book for challengers. It's a graphic novel called Welcome to St. Hell that is about a trans teenager.
Oh, cool.
It was pretty good. It's like a memoir. So I read that and I read the DC Pride special. And then today I started Greedy by Jen Winston, I think. And I bought this years ago, but it's like so I'm sure you remember because I bitch about this all the time. I don't like memoirs, but exception, I like memoirs if they're told through essays. Like I like essays. I love essays. I don't know. I like an academic essay. I like a personal essay. I just think they're fun. I like essays. And
Do
this is
you
a
like short stories?
okay. I, in theory, like short stories. My problem with short story collections is that
Half of them suck.
no, is that I'll read one and be like, cool, and then I'm not like inspired to keep reading
Oh, interesting.
because I
Okay.
just had a complete experience. So like one of the books I just finished this week was Never Whistle at Night, which is a horror anthology of Indigenous horror.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got quite a few stories in it. Most of them are pretty good. That took me like 2.5 years to read because I would read one and be like, I have a complete beginning, middle, and end experience.
Mhm.
I don't feel the need to keep reading.
Yeah.
So short story books take me truly like a long time to read. Essay books do not. There's something, everybody knows I love being in school. There's something about an essay that my brain just gobbles up. I read 3 of them this morning.
Jesus Christ.
I love essays. So I'm reading that, and that's like a book about being bisexual and
cool.
memoir told through essays. And so I'm reading that one. I think the next thing I'm going to read, I bought this I think I bought this as like a joke. I think Molly brought it up at the comic book store, like, haha, do you want this? And I was like, sure. And then she ordered it for me, and then I had to buy it. It's a manga called something like My Dads Are Mates. And I think it might be like a alpha omega manga. I don't know. So that's gonna be our next one because it is gay. So
Hell yeah.
and then
It is gay.
it is gay. It's been holding my couch up, so I pulled it up. My couch is falling apart. I refuse to get a new one. I have another graphic novel on there that's a sequel. It's like magical girl lesbian softball. The first one was great. The second one I also assume will be great. And then I have an Anthony Oliveira book that's like poetry, short story.
Ooh.
I don't know. He got his he's fascinating. I wish I could be him, actually. I think out of all the people in the world, I want to be Anthony Oliveira. He writes queer X-Men comics and is a like biblical scholar, but not in like an annoying way. He did this whole podcast about like Paradise Lost. His PhD dissertation was on Paradise Lost. And this is like this like epic poem kind of inspired by that, but also like, I don't know. The structure is very weird. So it's big. I'm going to read that. And then Hungerstone, which is like a
Yeah, I saw that on your shelf.
retelling of Carmilla, but more gay. And then there's some couple other ones on there. A short story book called Queer Little Nightmares. They bought a long time ago.
Nice.
And then, God, what is the name of this? I have to get it right because it has a slur in it.
Oh, great.
Oh, okay. It's called trigger warning for the F slur, but this is just the name of the book. The Faggots and Their Friends Between Revolutions. And it's a nonfiction book about, like, I think what it says.
Yeah.
So that's my stack.
That sounds good.
I don't think I'll get through it all, but I did shop my bookshelf. So I'm reading. I just force myself to read. Because once I start it, it's like going to the gym. Once you start it, you're like, oh, I like to read. You know?
I don't find that during a slump. I'll open it and I'll look at the page and I'm like, I feel like I'm illiterate.
Well, why don't you ever like be like, I'm just going to read this one chapter. I'm going to read 4 pages.
Oh, even then.
Can you be like, gamify it?
No, it's hard. When I'm in a slump, it's like I don't even want to pick a book up. I don't want to associate with a book in any fucking way whatsoever. And so by the time I'm picking it up, it's a good sign that I'm like breaking out of that. I'm trying to do it right now with graphic novels. Like I went to the library and just picked 6 that I was like, these look interesting. One of them is about consent and about how to like adequately make sure that you're getting and giving consent. And I was like, well, I have to teach a human how to do this. I should probably read something that can give me an idea that I'm doing the right thing. So I'm going to try to do that. It's like 2 years ago when I was like, I was obsessed with those like instructional books that were like, this is sexuality.
Oh,
this
yeah.
I
You sell those.
Yeah, I was really into those for a long time. And I don't even remember where I was going with this. I'm like
You were
completely
reading
lost.
slump?
Oh yes, that's right. And like I found that those were very helpful. And so I'm trying really hard to like grasp onto any straw that's like that. Hopefully these will kickstart me.
Yeah, my slumps just mean I read less. They don't mean that I don't read.
Yeah, I'll go through years where I don't read anything,
That's
which is
crazy to me.
It sucks. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I want to read.
Even like
That's so much-
audiobooks?
Yeah, I can't do it.
Interesting.
It's weird. It's part of why I don't listen to podcasts anymore because it's the same thing. Like my brain is just like, nah, you're just not gonna do this anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay.
So interesting to me. My ADHD is like, you have to have sound on find
Oh.
some sound.
Well, I do music mostly. That's part of it.
Okay, so that was a long rambly. I don't even know what I was talking about. What's your rant?
Oh, Jesus, we're still on our rants. My rant is that I've talked about this many times in the past. Dating fucking sucks. I'm like dating a lot more now, and I'm like trying to meet more people, and like it is the same thing as the algorithm. It just feels fucking futile in so many different places. I was using Bumble for a while and was like, I'm having zero success at this, and it was just like disheartening and shitty. And now I'm on Field, which I enjoy a lot more and have had a lot more success with. However, I'm a person in an open relationship who is part of the burlesque community and part of the kink community and like is adjacently tied to the D&D community in many ways, and like that circle is small. It's super small. I keep running into people that have dated people that I dated, or that have dated people that I know, or are currently dating people that I used to be dating. Like, it is unavoidable. Completely unavoidable. Which sucks. But at the same time, like, I'm just in this, like, fuck it, oh well. My theme this year has been, oh well. I just try to, like, every time I'm like, I have this regret about something or I'm pissed about something, I just say out loud, oh well. And I just let it go. And so I've been trying to do that with this too. But I have found that the algorithm is feeding me the same people over and over again, that it's like, it's not like, okay, so here's an example. I've been seeing this guy and he has a wife and then another partner that he's like linked with on Field, because you can do that. And she keeps coming up over and over and over because she clearly liked my profile, but I'm dating her boyfriend already. And so it's like, what? I'm going to say yes and then be like, by the way, I already know who the other person that would be in this third is. This is super fucking awkward. And again, it's just because the pool is small. It's just really not diverse is what I would say. And like, I said many years ago, you can find these ones on our old podcast, should you have saved them. Lucky you. I don't really date women ever because I date like a man and I'm kind of a douchebag and I respect women. So I feel like every time I've tried to date a woman, or honestly a AFAB person usually now, I'm just like too aggressive. I'm too like, I treat everyone the same that I'm dating. And so I come across as like a dick a lot of times. And so for a long time I was like consciously not dating any women because I had 4 women who told me that they loved me and I was like, no, girl, no. That's happened with men before too, but with the women it was like, oh no, I'm so sorry.
With the men you were like, ew, gross.
Yeah, I was like, see you never, I guess. Yeah, it's like I feel bad that I'm not good at dating women, but at the same time, like, whatever. I have a lot.
You're always upfront, like, I'm not in this for a relationship, and
Yeah.
people are like, yeah, I'm fine with that, and then they're all of a sudden not. So like, it's not really your fault at that point.
Yeah, I feel like I'm very upfront, and I always have been, and yet and yet I keep running into this. So I don't know. It sucks too when you're dating, and like I know that this is like a universal problem now, but when I was like really heavily dating, like 8-10 years ago, ghosting wasn't as intense of a thing as it is right now, where like people will ghost at the strangest times and also like literally in the middle of a conversation it'll happen now.
This
and
feels adjacent to what we were talking about earlier off podcast, where like I'm annoyed by people who are like, calling people on the phone, it gives me anxiety. And I'm like, okay, cool, do it anyways.
Yes.
You know, yeah, of course it gives you anxiety to break up with someone or say, hey, that was a cool day, I'm not interested. Of course that gives you anxiety. Of course it does. Just do it anyways.
Absolutely.
I don't give a shit about your like, there's a really big difference between this makes me uncomfortable and this is a boundary, and people don't know the difference between that.
Yes, absolutely.
That just feels like a Venn diagram to me, is I can't make a phone call and I can't tell a person I don't want to be dating them.
Yes, exactly. It's so bizarre. And like, I'm a huge fan of the mutual ghost. I think that that is totally acceptable. I feel like that's a thing that people have embraced, where it's like, we're chatting a little, okay, we're just kind of not feeling it. And then you just kind of ghost each other without having to say like, I'm not interested in this. But when someone is still like trying to be in a relationship with you and you know that you don't want to be in a relationship with them, just tell them. And like, fucking rich coming from me, a person who has been unable to do that several times in the past, but at the same time, like, my life was worse off for not just doing it. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, dating fucking sucks. And again, rich from me, someone who's having quite a lot of success actually, but at the same time, like, it's because I'm heavily dating right now. Not getting heavily success, but heavily dating. It's turned into like a hobby. I'm at the point where I'm like, I'll just date until I get enough people on my roster.
That's an insane thing to say to me.
Listen, if I can count it on one
Polyamory.
hand, it's not enough.
If you ever wonder if you want to do polyamory, become friends with polyamorous people. And if you still want to do it afterwards, then yeah, it's for you. And
Mhm.
if you don't, then you never had to do it and you lived it.
Yep, that's absolutely true.
It's like 100% of the reason I'm not poly. There was a time when I was like, maybe. And then I'm friends with a lot of poly people. And I was like, no, this is not for me.
It's a nightmare.
This is not for me.
It requires a level of maturity and communication that is impossible, I think. And I say that, but like, I do kind of mean that. Like, the larger and larger your like constellation or fucking whatever gets, like, that is the whole deal. That is historically what happens with polyamory is people start to feel neglected and they start to feel like they're not getting enough communication. And when you're dating enough people that you can't, can you tell me off the top of your head without having to count how many people you're dating? If you can't, that's probably an issue.
I thought you were asking me for real. And I was like, yeah, one.
No, that's what I mean. Like, if you ask, like, you know, if I asked you how many people are you sleeping with, you don't even have to think about it. You're
Yeah.
like, one person.
The one.
And like, that is what happens in the poly community, especially in Chicago. It feels like people just keep building because it's a hobby. And so you just keep on going. You just keep on shoveling it in. And then you get to a point where you're like, I forgot I was dating this person. Or I accidentally went to a show with another person I'm dating and I didn't realize the other person was going to be there. And oops, this third person is here. Like, your pool's too big. Your pool's too
That's
big and it needs to be
insane.
more diverse in the places that you go. And again, rich for me who's really experiencing this right now.
That sounds not so, but so to me. Also, I think part of the reason I could never really be poly is because I've started to realize this more as I got older. I'm like way more. I think I might actually be demisexual. Like
I could see that.
it's very rare. Like when am feeling it, I'm feeling it, but it's actually kind of rare for me to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like it'd be really difficult to be poly. Be like, no, 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 no. Nope, not feeling it. And then I feel pressure to like try and feel it, but I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean?
Yep. You'd be a dick. You'd be like me. You date like a
Probably really
quote,
hard to
quote, a
be
man.
poly if you're demisexual, even if you want to be poly.
There's a lot of demi people in the poly community.
But I guess
The
you can
poly
be.
community.
I guess you don't necessarily have to be doing sex to have a relationship.
Yeah.
Doing
true.
sex.
Doing sex. Are you doing the sex?
Are you doing sex?
What's your rave?
Well, I talked about it a little bit, but the DC Pride special, I don't know what it is about DC Comics. Not a perfect. Neither of the big two are ever going to be perfect. The writers that they get for Pride and also for who are writing their queer characters during the year are just so good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Marvel one hasn't come out this year, so I haven't read it, or it hasn't come out yet as of the time of this recording. So I haven't read it yet. It could be great. Statistically, it's mid
Mm-hmm.
at best. You know, it's a bunch of short stories, so one or two of them will be really good, and then the rest will be like whatever. It really feels like Marvel has this thing called Marvel Voices, which is their like spotlight, and it'll be like short stories. So it'll be like Marvel Voices, Black History Month, Marvel Voices, Indigenous Voices. And like those are awesome in that those voices are being spotlighted and you get to see different characters and things like that. They're not awesome in that sometimes as a reader, it feels like Marvel is just doing it because they have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not always. Some of them are really good. But then Marvel started doing like Marvel Voices mutants. And I was like, okay, mutants aren't real.
Yeah.
They have comics already. Like we don't. So then it actually kind of pissed me off because I was like, that feels really flippant to the like actual
Mhm.
Marvel voices that you're doing. So I think Marvel, they're trying, I guess. Though again, to me, it does feel like they're trying because they have to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the inner workings of Marvel, etc. Obviously, some of my favorite queer comic book characters ever are from Marvel, but it just doesn't feel like passion is there, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But the queer stuff that comes out of DC, at least the past couple years, has been so good, so interesting, so nuanced, so every day. And I mean that in that, like, it is just normal canon that Superman's son is bisexual and he's on a team with his boyfriend. That's just normal. Is he bisexual or is he gay? Doesn't matter. He has a boyfriend. That's just a thing. And yeah, Jolene and other people are going to jump on down my throat and be like, yeah, but Jay's boring. Who cares? We've all had boring boyfriends.
Oh my God, we've all had boring boyfriends. I know lots of boring queer people.
Amazing that he's just there all the time, though.
Honestly, kind of nice to have a boring queer who's not dead.
Yeah, I kind of like Jay because he's sort of boring. I think that that is good representation.
Yeah, dude.
Do you know what John wants? Probably kind of a boring boyfriend. Also, he's not that boring. He has superpowers. He's for like the son of like a dead president of like a small like country. Like he's not that boring. But like you know what I mean. There are like trans characters that are just trans characters and are in comic books on a monthly basis, not just at Pride, which sometimes with Marvel it feels like, hey, let's trot out these characters at Pride. Not always, and you know, whatever. But the Pride book this year was so good because instead of just being short stories, it takes place at a gay bar who's having its final night. And I think that that is really prescient right now because there are a lot of gay bars that are closing, like historical gay bars that are closing that couldn't get it back up after like budget wise after the pandemic, or you know, the state of the world is like making it dangerous for them to be open, or you know, whatever. So I think that that's a very big thing that is happening in queer communities. And so right from the get, I was like, ooh, this is like kicking me in the gut, but like really timely, thoughtful. And it's like a superhero and then just a normal guy having a conversation about the history of the bar and things like that. And then like a ripple in space and time or whatever happens. And so then all of these short stories with other superheroes like Harley or Bunker, or I'm trying to think of who else is in it. John was barely even in it. Other characters, Renee, are getting pulled into this like universe, and they are getting put into their perfect universes, and they're realizing like, no, this is the perfect universe I wanted when I was 23, but I've grown up and I know what it's like more to be like Hawk, right? Hawk is a ace character, and it's him in his perfect world where like everybody's throwing themselves at him and he's like this bravado dude, and he's like, that's what I wanted before I accepted my identity. And so then it's these short stories that are seamlessly woven into this like beautiful tapestry of like what it means to grow into your queer identity, what it means to like actually accept yourself and your community, the importance of this gay bar throughout all of these different characters' lives. It was like a good, and like there's still superhero shenanigans and shit. Like the center around it is the original Green Lantern. Yeah, I don't know. Instead of just being these standalone short stories, it was this like really beautiful tapestry. I really, really liked it. I just thought it was incredible. I was like crying at work. I was like, this is so good. And then at the end of the book, outside of the main story, there was a mini vignette of a well-known comic book writer who came out as trans and like in his like or in her like late 60s, and was like, this was hard for me to do. Like, I'm an established name. And it was just like a little memoir. I don't know. I thought it was really, really good. I thought the one last year was really good. I think DC really hits it out of the park. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But even like the, you know, the cis het characters or whatever are not perfect. It's comic books. There's going to be bad ones. There's going to be good ones. But like between DC Pride and specifically the YA books that they put out, I don't know. DC just like seems like they actually give a shit about their queer audience.
That rules.
So I highly recommend if you like superheroes, to pick up the DC Pride book.
Do you have a copy of it?
Yeah.
Can I
You can-
borrow it?
yeah.
Cool.
It's going to be a lot of superheroes you don't know.
That's every comic book I ever pick up.
Okay.
That's fine.
But I think they do a good job of like,
Yeah.
you don't really need to know what their whole deal is.
And if I need to know something, I just take a picture of it and send it to you or a number of other people and go,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Like Bunker is not like a super well-known Titan, but like that's part of the fun of the DC book. Like, when do you see Bunker? But like his story was like really heartbreaking and really beautiful. I don't know. I thought it was great.
Cool.
Highly recommend the DC queer universe.
Hell yeah, man.
What's your rave?
My rave, I have two kind of mini raves. The first one is I'm fucking obsessed with comfort clothing. It is
Like sweaters?
Yes, the sweaters and the sweatpants. They're
Oh,
so
the actual brand?
yes, the actual brand.
That's so interesting. I think I ordered a pair and I thought they were fine.
Oh, I have a pair of the pastel ones, the same
yeah,
one that you have.
the purple one.
I have a zip up version of that, and I like it. It's good, and like it's weighted okay. The travel essential hoodie. Oh my god. Fucking game changer, dude. It's so comfortable. It's a little more weighted than the pastel one. And like I can put it on and feel it. I like put
You
it
feel
on.
that it's weighted.
I
Because I
put
did
it-
not feel like this was weighted.
Absolutely. I put it on and I relax down a little bit and was like, holy shit, I can feel my body relaxing. I was wearing it in the morning, so I was like being nicer in the morning. And Michael was like, what is happening? Why are you being so nice? Like, because
like-
I'm so relaxed right now. I had that and the sweatpants set on. And I had to go get some lab work done. And I was walking out of this lab work center and I heard from behind me, excuse me, are you wearing comfort? And I turned around, it was this woman, and I was like, yes, and I'm the most comfortable I've ever been in my entire life. And so I like sold this clothing to her basically.
That's
She's
so
like, I've been
funny.
thinking about it. Instagram keeps trying to influence me. And I was like, you should fucking do it, dude. It's comfortable as hell. So I have those two, and I ordered their like signature one, but I was like, just do the pre one. I'll get it later.
Yeah.
So I ordered that, and I also ordered Michael a set. So I'm just like absolutely fucking obsessed with them.
Weighted sweatpants.
Oh, it's so good. That's what I need. I used to sleep under a weighted blanket. Like
See, I don't like a weighted blanket.
I don't particularly either because I slept under it every night for months while I was like deeply postpartum depressed. And like, you're not supposed to sleep under them like that. That's not how you're supposed to use a weighted blanket at all. But I can sleep in my comfort sweater. I love it. They're
Wild.
so comfortable. I got influenced so fucking. Actually, it's not even true. I saw them on Instagram and was like, whatever. Toss off motion, but then you got the pastel ones, and then
I mean, they're cute.
they're very cute. And then Helena got the
Yeah, because she
signature
saw
one.
me wearing the
That's exactly-
pastel one.
That's exactly what they said. They were like, I got influenced by Alexis, and I was like, well, I love this red color because I love fucking Americana red.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't want to get the same one that they got. And then I got a different bright red one in zip up anyway, and was like, I fucking love these. So you two influenced me. I will go with that instead of
I just
Instagram.
love sweatpants.
I don't usually like a sweatpant.
I
Their
love
cuff
sweatpants.
sweatpants are really, really fucking good. Do you have the sweatpants with the purple one?
Yeah, but they're not cuffed. They're just
Oh.
the like.
The open ones? I
Or
think
maybe they are cuffed.
because I have the open leg ones with the pastel one and then the
I don't
cuffed
have
ones.
open leg, so I must have the cuffed one.
Yeah. I like the cuffs. They're really good.
Which,
So I'm obsessed with that. So I'm obsessed with comfort clothing. I cannot
so
recommend it enough.
funny.
I know I don't really do free advertising either. That's
I
not
really
a
thought
thing.
they were fine.
I love the travel essential. It's so fucking good. I'm excited to get the signature one too because it's also a little heavier. But I love them. I'm absolutely obsessed. They're fantastic. So I highly recommend getting influenced and buying some comfort. COMFRT.
No, we're not getting influenced.
Don't get influenced, but take my recommendation. I'm not an influencer. I'm just a ding dong with an opinion. That's my whole life. I'm just a ding dong with an opinion. Okay. My second one, I talked about this in the newsletter. And if you're not subscribed to our newsletter, you should be. NYD Productions at beehive, BEEHIIV.com. I talked about this in the newsletter. Bobby had been talking about journaling and like losing a bunch of his journaling information. And I used to journal obsessively every single day for decades, a really, really long time. And then when I started to get really depressed because of postpartum, I just completely stopped. Like, not, you know what, not even that. I think it might have actually been pregnancy. I was just like, I can't do this. I have the malaise. I like don't want to do
The
anything.
malaise.
Right? The malaise that spreads to all of us. And so I just stopped journaling. And so he had been talking about it, and I'd been thinking about how I wanted to start journaling again and how I feel better when I journal because, like, that's a normal thing that happens when you journal. And so I had started doing it more and more. And then I saw this real TikTok by there's a woman who's autistic who does like autistic content, and it's very, very fucking funny. And my youngest sister is autistic, so she'll send me a bunch of stuff. And the one that she sent me and my sisters was this woman had her laptop open, and she had slides of, here are the most creative things I wrote in my journal, to the prompt, how are you doing? And they were nuts. Some of them were like, I feel like I'm being torn in two by a tornado. Like, and some of them were like, I feel like I'm underwater floating through the crustaceans. I was like, this is a great idea. I really like the idea of just doing a quick how are you doing prompt and just writing whatever comes into my fucking head. I wrote down the other day, I feel like my spine is in the wrong place. And then I read it the next day and was like, what the fuck?
I get that.
Yeah, right. I was like, oh, okay, all right, all right. So I've been trying to do that, and I'm trying not to beat myself up if I'm not doing it every day. I'm trying not to be like, oh, I missed a day. Oh dear, how now I'll never do it again. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm trying really hard to do that, and it's both a nice creative outlet, and then also after I do the prompt, if I feel inspired to journal, I'm already there. I'm already doing it, and I have my prompt journal, and then I have my actual journal that's like right next to it. So I've been like really feeling journaling. It makes me feel better. I feel like I'm getting a serotonin dump that doesn't have to deal with fucking social media. Like,
Yeah.
it's nice to sit back and for like 30 minutes, just like free association, right? Like, it just feels really good. And it's very, very therapeutic. I'm really glad that I've started doing it again. And I hope I can keep it up. That's
I've
my
never
way.
been able to journal. I have so many
Really?
journals that start with "this time will be different."
Ah!
Yeah, I don't know if it's an ADHD thing or what, but I just like cannot. I can't do it. I can't focus on it at all.
That's funny. You don't really handwrite much, do you?
No. Well, no, that's not true. I take all my notes handwritten,
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
just not for extracts because it's insane to do that.
Yeah, that's, well, I thought you were taking pictures of the things. I didn't know you were
Nope,
transcribing
I
them.
type them up because we put them on the internet.
You could put an image on the internet.
Yeah, but it's in like a document that's already formatted.
All right, all right.
Also, your handwriting is crazy.
I know, that's why I thought you were just taking a picture of it.
Nope, I'm just translating it.
Well,
Do you have any media to recommend?
yes, actually, if you may know this about me, I've talked about it a bunch of times in the past. I really love Jim Jeffries. I think he's a fucking fantastic comedian, and he taped his latest special in Chicago like a month ago now. It was originally supposed to be in March, and then they had to cancel it, and I think it was because he was like, I need to workshop some of these jokes more. And so they came back in May, and there were two tapings. We went to the first one and just had like a fucking great time. This was like the sixth time Michael and I had seen him. So like we're used to the rapport of how he like works with the audience. And it was nice to see a set that like felt fresh. It felt new. It felt like we weren't seeing the same jokes over and over again. Like, I just love him. I think he's very smart. I think that he is able to, this is a phrase people use all the time, but I think he pushes at lines that he does really effectively, and it doesn't feel like clickbait
Yeah.
type shit. And like, if you don't know who Jim Jeffries is, you may actually know him and not know that you know him. He had a very famous gun control joke many years ago, and that's how he like really hit the stars in terms of his fame. He was also Wilfred in the show Wilfred. He was the man in the dog suit. He's the perfect fucking role for him. But he's fantastic, and his gun control joke is also about Pistorius, the no-legged runner that participated in the Olympics and then killed his girlfriend. And so the joke is about gun control, and then the rest of the joke is about, if you have no legs, how do you get a gun out of a gun quickly and safely? And the answer is, you don't really. It's fascinating to watch him go through it and to like really take what could have been a punch down disability joke into like, no, he should be punched down on because he actually did murder his girlfriend.
Yeah.
But Jim Jeffries is fantastic. He's really good. I think he still has his own talk show. I do not watch that because I don't watch talk shows anymore. It's exhausting.
Yes.
I can't be doing that kind of appointment television every single fucking night. Ain't no way. Ain't no way you're gonna catch me doing that shit.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way. So yeah, Jim Jeffries, his new special, whenever it comes out, you may be able to hear me laughing because I'm loud as there was one joke where I was the only person who laughed, and I was like, fuck.
Was he like, that gal?
There was just this like pause, and I was like, oh, you're gonna use the other taping for that one, eh? Sorry. What about you? You've recommended DC Pride. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I was gonna recommend that. Me and Nick went and saw Nikki Glazer live a couple weeks ago. That was really good. She is like so good at talking about uncomfortable things in a not punch down way. She has the best transitions of any comedian I've ever seen in my entire life. Her
Awesome.
a lot of comedians will be like, yeah, anyways, and then just like start a new
Yeah.
thing. Hers are fucking seamless. It was so impressive actually. Like the way that she would connect four different thoughts and tell four different jokes and then end on like a fifth one. I was like so impressed by just the structure of it. I don't know if
Cool.
it was like a special or whatever. It wasn't a taping for a special for sure. It was like 4 p.m. on a Sunday. Yeah, I mean, we had tickets to see her 2020, which obviously we didn't go to because it was canceled. So we got tickets to see her now, and they were very expensive because she's way more famous now. Like
Yeah.
we were gonna go see her at the Vic in 2020, and we saw her at, like the Chicago Auditorium.
That's where the Jim Jeffries special
Yes.
was at the Vic. I was surprised because
Well,
he's recorded at Chicago
I
before
know
too.
a lot of comedians have said out loud, like we don't like big venues for
Mhm.
our specials because it's hard to hear feedback. It's hard to hear
Mhm.
it messes with the flow, which I totally get. Like I'm actually going to a taping, a special taping on Wednesday for Caleb Heron, and it's at a small venue.
Hell
And he
yeah.
was just playing Chicago Auditorium and things like that, but like it's at a 200-person venue,
Hell yes.
which I'm so excited for because he's so funny.
Hell yes. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, I'm on his Patreon, and I just happened to be on my phone at the right time to get the pre-sale links.
Nice.
So I'm gonna go see Caleb Heron live, which I'm very excited. But if you like Nikki Glaser, she was amazing. So
Hell
when
yeah.
her new special comes out, honestly, just watch it for like the technicality of it.
Cool.
It was nuts. Her transitions are perfect.
I love that.
She's so funny. There's a couple times where you're like, is this okay? I don't know if it's okay. But it was very clever. I don't know.
Hell yeah. That's my
Yeah.
alley. I love that.
She's very funny.
I love that.
What are you doing for the world or whatever?
Oh man, I've been filling out a bunch of witness slips. That's a thing I've been keeping my eye
What's
on.
that?
A witness slip is when you swear in a court of law that you are.
You love jury duty.
Oh my god, I want jury duty so bad, so bad.
You're the only one in the world that
That's
wants
why I'm
jury
never gonna
duty.
get it. They're like, this bitch wants to be on jury duty. Too bad. We're gonna absolutely not. No, witness slips are when you sign like an affidavit that you support legislation or you support like a rule that's being put in place for something. I've been trying really hard to sign those. I know it means that my name is on government lists, but my name is on lots of government lists already, so I'm less worried about that one. But yeah, I've been trying to sign lots of witness slips. I've been trying to call my fucking Congress people, which I
But
hate
Aaron,
doing.
the phone, it's scary.
I hate calling my Congress people. I hate doing it because I always feel
doesn't
like,
it just go to voicemail?
yeah, but then I have to leave a voicemail where I'm like, what actually am I trying to communicate to you here?
Hey, ding dongs.
You know what I do actually is I put on my customer service theater voice where I go, I'm just really concerned about what's going on with the world. And I would consider myself a centrist voter. And I've voted for you in the past. And I'm just deeply concerned about
I would
what's happening.
consider myself a centrist.
You have to say that. Like,
so funny.
they will take your opinion, quote, 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 way more seriously if you say that you're a centrist. So I call them and I tell them I'm a centrist, which is a lie, but I don't care. So I've been doing that. I've been trying to give more money. Like, I feel like I was kind of a throw everything at the wall kind of person this last couple of months. It's like I was signing oh my god, they're not called witness slips, but the public comments for like all the insane fucking bills that are coming out of, like, for instance, the FDA and the Human Health Services Department, like, oh my god, absolutely insane. So I've been trying to fill out a lot of like public comments and be part of those numbers because they do matter, even if
Yeah.
like bullshit is still gonna bullshit. Like,
Where do you find something like that if people were interested?
I actually follow enough political people on Blue Sky that's what usually comes up. I should figure out a way.
You can make lists on Blue Sky.
That's true. You can make lists on Blue Sky.
Of,
I'm
like-
subscribed to a couple of them.
Yeah.
It's one of.
I just meant you could make a list of these people recommend a lot of good
yeah, that's
shit
true.
to
That's a
sign
good idea.
and
Yeah.
share.
I'll start keeping an eye on that. I also, I just need to have the NYD Blue Sky login information, and I can start
How do you not
reposting
have
that.
it?
I have no idea. I don't have fucking anything. I know that I have it somewhere. I just have to have it as in it's in my phone or in my thing.
Aaron.
I know. No one is using our Blue Sky.
know.
It's not just me.
I know. I just mean like you have it somewhere, but I'll
know.
find it.
I know. I've been really good about the Instagram stories.
You have been.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing. What about you?
So Reading Buddies ended and I was like kind of struggling, but then one of like, where am I going to volunteer? And then one of the other volunteers that opened books was like, we desperately need help in like the warehouse and with like organization. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll just sign up for that. So I signed up for that. I still have to go through like a training for that because it's different than reading to children.
Obviously.
But I'm going to do that just because it's like, I already know this organization. They already did my background check. They already like the barrier to entry here is like
Much lower.
much lower. I can just kind of start.
Yeah.
Like, right. Like they told me that last week and I will probably be able to do it next week.
Cool.
So did that. I kind of took your advice from last month, 2 months ago. And I've been spending more money on like my friends who don't have a lot of money, like Caleb parent tickets. I have a friend who loves them. They don't have a lot of money. And I was like, hey, I got these tickets. Do you just want to come? Because that seems like a thing. Or like specific people in my life who I directly know and being like, hey, you're struggling. Here's some money or whatever. Or like reaching out in my direct community because that's important. And then, yeah, trying to, because it's Pride Month, trying to find organizations that are doing a lot of work specifically for communities that are being targeted. And it's Pride. So like that's where my money's going this year.
All right. Good job.
Yeah. It's not that exciting. It's just shelving books and giving people money.
I mean,
But
that's
shelving
fine.
those books, like that organization, it is like the reason you volunteer is because like 100% of their profits other than like paying their like actual staff of like 30 goes to supporting literacy in Chicago.
Yeah.
So
Good
it is
angle.
important.
It is important.
Yeah.
Question?
Sure.
All right. Pick a number between 1 and 21.
9.
9. Okay. What movie have you watched the most times?
In my life,
Sure. You can interpret that however you like.
it's probably a tie between Hocus Pocus because I watched that so much as a kid and even through like early adulthood, and Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
Ah, yes, that's right. I
Because
forgot
I
you
used
were
to watch it every night as I
forgot
was
you were
falling asleep.
Lord of the Rings girly. That's right.
Yeah, I used to be like a hardcore Lord of the Rings girly.
Yeah,
I
'cause you
haven't
had a
watched it in
huge,
forever.
Big gay crush on Liv Tyler.
Look, she's really pretty.
I just think she's a really good actor.
She's like such a good actress. The movie I saw most times in theaters, however, is Van Helsing.
That does not surprise me even a little bit, actually.
But Frankenstein was an opera singer. Like, I was just really into it. Is it a good movie? No. But
is it a good movie though?
Is it like
Yes.
deeply entertaining?
Yes.
Yes. It's like a really entertaining movie.
It's not a good movie, but it's a good movie in the fact that it's entertaining. It's a popcorn flick. It's very rewatchable.
It's so rewatchable. The cast is crazy. There's like a
the
lot
cast
of
is
people.
crazy good.
Yeah. Kate Beckinsale's doing an insane Transylvanian accent. I'm here for it. The dresses that the vampire brides wear are amazing. It's all about Dracula wanting to breed, which is so hilarious. It's crazy. I love that movie. I bought the novelization years ago and I never read it. I should read it.
It's very funny.
But yeah, I think it's got to be one of those two. Maybe Galaxy Quest because that is my favorite movie. So I've seen it like anytime anybody's like want to watch Galaxy Quest, I'm like absolutely 100%. It's a perfect movie. Name a
So
better
good.
movie. But yeah, probably just thinking Lifetime is probably one of those.
Okay. Lifetime, mine is definitely Back to the Future 2, 100%. Because that was my like sick day movie. I also watched Grease about 175,000 times when I was a kid. Because that was the movie that me and my dad and my sister watched together. And so then my sister and I would watch it like constantly when he wasn't in the same state.
Mm.
And so that for sure, that one. But as like an adult, for sure, Death of Stalin. I've seen that movie so many fucking times. It's so funny. I recommend
so
it to
funny.
everybody. Jason Isaacs is incredible.
He's
in it.
always good.
He's so good. My favorite thing about Death of Stalin, it's about the death of Stalin, obviously, and it's set in Russia.
Did the comic book come first or after?
First, it's
Okay.
very similar, but the movie is a dark satire. And so
Yeah.
the book is more informational and it feels more of like nonfiction. There is some of that, like here's the drama between it and like the intrigue in that, but the movie is much more this is a farce. You can tell that it's a farce, and that the things that happened, like the fact that he died and was like covered in his own piss, and they were like, what do we do with dear leader? We have to move him somewhere. And it's like 7 official men like trying to slide underneath a dude who's covered in piss. And like, they're also trying not to say anything bad because they could be killed. Because what if he's not actually dead? Like,
He just pissed himself.
yeah, he's just pissed himself and didn't want to admit it. Like, it's just so well done. The cast is stacked. It's just so fucking good. My favorite thing is it's set in Russia. And no one uses a Russian accent. Everyone just speaks in their normal voice. So you've got like Steve Buscemi and Jason Isaacs just like, we're both Russian for sure.
For sure.
Part of the reason they do that is because the Soviet Union was so vast and there's so many different kinds of accents. And so to just be like Russian is this very like St. Petersburg style Russian, like, is kind of ridiculous. And so I like that the movie embraces that and has everyone just speak in their normal accents, which is fucking dope. So if you've never seen Death of Stalin, I truly cannot recommend it enough. It's so fucking good. If you had the choice between Back to the Future 2 and Death of Stalin, you should watch Death of Stalin. I'm not gonna lie. It's a really fucking good movie. Right, that's a pretty strong recommendation on my part. It is really fucking good.
But really, you should just watch Galaxy Quest.
I mean, yes, I haven't seen Galaxy Quest in years.
Well, it holds up.
So
It's perfect.
good. I know that it holds up. I think about Sigourney Weaver saying, I have one job and I'm going to do it.
It's stupid, but I'm going to do it. Okay? And they're all like, all right.
Sorry. You're right.
Tony Shalhoub is so funny in that.
He's so good. He does a fantastic job. Alan Rickman. Oh my God. Who could have played that character better?
It's so funny. And, you know, Tim Allen's a piece of shit, but he works as that character.
Yeah, he's
that character's
a piece of shit. Yeah.
It's so funny. Missy Pyle's in it as one of the aliens. Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. What a beautiful performance from Sam Rockwell.
What's my last name? So stupid. It's perfect. It's a perfect movie.
I love it.
All right, that's it. That's the podcast. A rambly podcast.
Rambly dambly. All right. How long was that? How long did it take?
An hour and 10 minutes.
All right, that's right.
Not terrible.
Not terrible. All right, that's not bad. All right, everybody. You can catch us on the internet. I'm on Instagram for now at NYDUrgency.
I'm on Blue Sky, Tumblr, and technically Instagram at Sell Cheeks.
You can find our podcast at NYD Productions on Instagram and Blue Sky and
Theoretically.
Tumblr.
Yeah, I mean, we have a Tumblr and a Blue Sky. We just don't use them.
Yeah, I need to start using that one more. But you can go to our Instagram while you're still on it. And our stories are bananas. And that's okay. Anything else? We subscribe to our newsletter at NYD Productions at beehiiv.com.
Discord is free if you want to join.
Yes, please join our Discord. Our Discord is super fun. I have a very nice time in our Discord. We have a bunch of different channels that are a delight. We have a good group there.
That's it, I guess.
You join our Patreon also.
Oh, yeah. If you want to support us monetarily, because it does still cost money to do a podcast.
It's true. It does. Yes, you can support us at NYD Productions on Patreon, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a terrible outro.
Patreon. I don't know.
We do this without a script now, and so we like don't have anything written down.
It's so funny. I feel like such a hypocrite because I had to like listen to a podcast for therapy the other day, and I was like, these girls, like their intro is sloppy, blah, blah, blah. And now we're just like rambling. It was a bad podcast.
Listen, we can be a bad podcast when we have malaise. It's fine.
The malaise. Is that what that means?
I believe so, yeah.
What if we're saying it wrong and it doesn't mean that? Malaise. I'm looking it up.
We're going to figure it out.
Malaise. General term describing a feeling of discomfort, illness, or lack of well-being. That seems a lot more.
Lack of well-being seems exactly how I feel about not wanting to read. That's the malaise.
The feeling can be vague and hard to pinpoint, often described as feeling under the weather or just generally unwell. I feel generally unwell. It feels a lot more like dramatic or like serious than how I'm feeling. I'm like talking about like a Victorian woman who just like wants to lie in a fainting couch.
I thought that was malaise.
Yeah, but this makes it feel like you're sick.
Well, you're sick mentally. That's the thing. Your brain is still part of your body.
What is a synonym for malaise? Maybe I can think of a better word.
And then just chop it in.
Oh no, anguish. These are
anguish. No,
I feel like these are too strong of a word. I need like. I felt like malaise was not as intense, and
yeah, malaise.
Languor.
It feels lazy, but that's just because it's malaise.
Convalescence. Listless.
Listless. Listless to me feels more ditzy though. Listless is like, oh, I don't know, I'm off to do this thing. Ah la la.
I don't know. Listless might feel right to me because you're just lacking energy and enthusiasm. That's what the description from the dictionary says.
All right, listless. That makes
I
sense.
think listless because malaise apparently
Is a much
means
stronger word than we
means I'm, like,
anticipated.
ill. I'm not ill, but I am listless.
Yeah. That's a good way to describe it. I'm glad we looked this up at the end of our
Malaise
podcast.
just sounds cooler than listless.
Malaise feels like a Victorian woman on a couch.
Yeah.
I feel like those Victorian women were unwell. Or
Yeah, of
deeply
course
unwell.
they were unwell. They were like huffing gas every moment of every day because they had the like. That's where all the ghost stories come from because everyone had like gas poisoning. Nobody's washing their hands.
Nobody
It's the
washes their
in-
clothes.
It's the Industrial Revolution, so there's just tons of smoke in the air.
Just dirty. Everybody's fucking.
Everyone's dirty.
It's when you still had giant trains on your dresses and you just walked through the mud. Not a big deal. Who cares that you walked through the
and
mud?
then you're lucky if you're one of the women with the giant trains in your dress. Most people are working in the factories and getting your hands chopped off.
I just meant Victorian women lounging. I don't think a
Yes,
lot of
okay,
the
that's
children
fair.
getting their hands chopped off are like, oh, here's my stump to my forehead.
I think that's where I was thinking about it the other day because I'm watching a show with a Victorian person in it, and because I hate the Regency era. I think it's so boring. It's so
Yes.
stupid, and people are all up Bridgerton's butthole and Pride and Prejudice and whatever. And I'm just like not into the Regency era. And I was like, why do I like the Victorian era so much? Like obviously the fashion pops off, like bustles, corsets,
Yes.
sick as hell. But I honestly think it's because it's the juxtaposition of this like lavishness and the true insanity that was the Victorian era.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, everyone is on cocaine and unintentionally huffing gas.
And intentionally huffing gas. There's cocaine in everything. There's fucking heroin also in everything. There's
Hysteria was invented then, which is crazy. It was just normal to send people off to get lobotomized.
Oh,
There
yeah.
are children dying every moment of every day in factories. There are no laws. The like class disparity is wild. And I think it's that like juxtaposition of like truly the most bomb ass fashion and like decor and some of like the best books like to come out of that and art and like the worst time to be alive, baby. Like I genuinely think one of the worst times to be alive
Yeah, I would agree with that.
because there's so much happening so fast and changing so fast, truly from like year to year in a way. Like the Industrial Revolution like fucked everything up. That's like England's expanding their insane empire. Colonialism is popping off. It is a bad time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the juxtaposition of it is very interesting to me because now like people, I love a novel that's like a pithy like Victorian woman, but also they're starting to like fight for their rights and shit. Like it's such a messy time in history.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas to me, I think of the Regency era and I'm like, get it together. Do
a
something.
job.
Literally do something. The Victorians, they were doing stuff. Not great stuff.
They were doing it.
They were doing stuff. Anyways, that's my rant about Victorian era.
Fuck the Regency era.
Truly.
All right, everyone. Well, have a
Umpire
Wednesday.
dress. Would you rather wear an umpire dress or a bustle? It's gonna be a bustle.
Yeah, bustle. I don't know. Corsets are hard. Although that's the thing. Everyone thinks of them as these like death
I
trap
love a
stranglers.
corset.
That's not. They're support garments. They're supposed to be comfortable.
You're not actually supposed to tight lace in them.
No, again, it's a support structure. They're supposed to fit your clothing, not your body.
I've worn a corset for 12 hours in a day and I was fine.
I used to wear corsets for rehearsals and for shows that we did.
They slept.
They were fine because all of us knew how to tie a corset. Or me, I knew how to tie a corset, and everybody had me tie their corsets.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right. Well, that's it.
Have a Wednesday.
Bye.